Hi everyone, it's Darlene. Welcome to this week's card. Today I'm using the new Hero Arts 2014 stamp called Pattern Stripes, along with the Papillon Potpourri set by Stampin' Up. So I'm going to start with some Neenah Solar White cardstock and some distress paint. This is Wild Honey and Broken China, and they both came in a set of 3 paints. The other one was, I think, Picked Raspberry. It was a pink color, but I'll have it on my blog. So what you're going to do is you're going to shake this paint up. It's just some acrylic paint. And then there's kind of a dauber at the top of it, and you're going to squeeze the bottle and the paint will come out, and you're just going to dab it on there. So I'll show you how I do this. I'm just kind of going up and down, dabbing it on there, and I'm going to squeeze the bottle to get more paint out when I need it. So I'm just going to go up and down, and then I'm going to leave space because I'm going to alternate between the Wild Honey and the Broken China. I'm going to speed this up. Alright, now for the Broken China. Now I did overlap the paint a little bit, so I got some Wild Honey paint on my dauber. So I'm just going to rub it off and squeeze it until it's all gone. And then I have just a regular Broken China. So anyway, I'm going to put that off to the side. I'm going to spray this with water, just a little bit, not too much. And you don't have to do this step, but I wanted it to be a little watery. And then I'm just going to stamp this. And I'm going to trim this out so it really doesn't matter where it is on this paper. Alright, you get a really pretty look. So I'm going to let that dry, and in the meantime I'm going to show you how I clean off this stamp. First I'm going to take a baby wipe and I'm going to wipe up all of the excess paint. So I just kind of get the majority of the paint off, but it's still going to be in the little crevices of the rubber. When that's done, I take my stamp cleaner out and I spray some cleaner on the pad, and then I just rub it on one side and then scrub it on the other so it dries off, and as you can see all the paint is gone. So it's really not that hard to clean. Alright, next I'm going to be working with the Papillon Potpourri, 2 of the butterflies in here, and a sheet of vellum. And I'm going to stamp this on the vellum, and then I'm going to black emboss it. I keep all my embossing powders in Tupperware. Heat it up. I use a Stampin' Up! Heat tool. I really love it. And then Stampin' Up! Has matching punches for both of these, so a large butterfly and a small one. And what I love about these punches is that it comes right up to the edge of the butterfly, and it doesn't leave a white outline or a vellum outline or whatever. It's a very clean, crisp image of your stamp. I've got this thank you sentiment, which is from an old Hero Art set. I can't remember the name. I'll put it on my blog, and I'm inking that with VersaFine. Right now I have this Tim Holtz Distress tool, and there's actually a blade in between those little holes there. And so I'm going to put my paper inside the little crease, and I'm going to kind of scrape the edge. And you want to be really careful because you don't want to bend your paper. And I have a little Tupperware underneath because it does make kind of, not a huge mess, but just like little flakes of the paper are going to come off. So I'm just going to go up and down each edge. And it's just going to roughen up the paper. And then to make that stand out, I'm taking some black ink. This is the new Simon Says stamp ink, and a sponge dauber on my fingertip, and I'm just going to ink up the edges. And I'm going to ink up the part that I've frayed off, which will come out really dark, and then just a little bit on the inside to kind of fade into the edge there. Okay. This is how I store my black thread in a big wad, so it just takes me a minute here to figure out where the end is. I'm just going to take a small piece and I'm going to wrap it around my panel. And I'm just going to adhere it on the back with some tape runner. Got a little trouble there with my tape runner. I trimmed out that thank you sentiment, and I'm just going to pop it on there with some adhesive. Some foam adhesive by Stampin' Up. It's called Dimensionals. And then I'm going to make a bow out of my thread. It's just embroidery thread. And I'm going to put it on with a glue dot. So I kind of roll up the glue dot between my fingers to make it small, and then I just stick the bow where I want it and it stays right in place. Okay, I've got dimensionals again. I'm just gonna put them all over this panel. Take the backings off, and then I'm going to adhere it. I slowed it down a little bit. You can see this is some wood grain cardstock by Simon Says Stamp. It's a really, really pretty, very small, intricate wood grain pattern. So I'm just going to adhere it to that. It's just a folded piece of cardstock. And I'm going to place my butterflies and use glue dots to put them on. I'm going to let them hang off a little bit just to add a little interest there. And that's it. Pretty easy to use paints, and it's a really nice look. So hope you liked it, and I will see you next week. Thanks for watching.